Agape Souls Shoutique. High-end boutique looks and quality with affordable pricing. Located at 6025 Martin Luther King Street South in St. Pete. Choose from our amazing selection of stylish, fashion-forward heels, wedges, boots, children's shoes, accessories, and much more. You can shop now and pay later, interest-free with Afterpay. Subscribe to our website and get huge savings on our latest products at agapesoulshoutique.com. For more information, call 727-379-1318. Come give your feet the royal treatment and check us out at Agape Souls Shoutique today.
District 7 is located along its north end on 5th Avenue North, all the way down to 54th Avenue South, from as far west as 58th Street to 16th Street South on the east. I'm Brother John Muhammad, your council member for District 7. We're standing in one of my favorite spots in the district, Clam Bayou Preserve. This nature preserve is a great destination for anyone looking to escape the buzz of city life. The park offers walking and biking trails and a launching spot for kayakers and paddleboarders. It's easy to stay active and outdoors around here. District 7 is also home to the Thomas Jet Jackson Rec Center, Genie Hall Pool, and the Child's Park Recreation Center, where you can spot one of our most recognizable landmarks in the district, the Dream Big, Be Big mural. If those destinations weren't enough, we also have the Skyway Trail and the Pinellas Trail, offering car-free mobility throughout the district and connecting to other parts of the city of St. Petersburg. If history and culture is what you seek, this district is also rich with options. From the Dr. Carter G. Woodson African American Museum, a stroll along the African American Heritage Trail, or a visit to the historic Manhattan Casino. Our local businesses shine in the district. Local shops and good food can be found throughout.
Stop, push, what? Say, wake up.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Wow. What? Tell me now. What you got to tell me now on this great Wednesday?
It is indeed.
It's the last day of May.
The last day of May of 2023.
You know, listen.
We're walking it on down.
Whew. We 6 months in.
6 months in.
We got 6 more months.
6 more months.
To make this year great. If you already have it. You know,
the other half is good.
The other half even better than the first half. Right. Good morning. This is Qiana.
And it's the intellectual gangster, your brother Donnie.
And this is the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. And we're brought to you by the New Image Project, better known as
See that.
And we are redefining what is cool.
Because smart is the new gangster on 99.1 FM WQJM 99 Jams the Berg, the new Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, brought to you from Carol Fester.
So this is crazy. So I guess Joe Biden kind of rubbed off on you. How long are we going to be the new morning show?
As long as we keep being better than all of the other morning shows.
Well, then we're the best morning show, not necessarily the new morning show.
New and the best. We're bringing them a new take, a new feel, a new perspective. We're bringing them a new understanding, a new grounding, a new consciousness. That's what we're doing. So that's why we the new.
Oh, that's why we the new.
Okay,
so that's what you're doing.
You don't think so?
All right, so we gotta say good morning around the world. So how many? Okay, so we're gonna pick. I say 6. Let's do 6 around the world.
Well, then you pick the countries, and then we'll go with the good morning cue. Since you want to limit me to 6 countries around the world, you want to limit me to the G7.
Okay, yeah. Listen.
Then you pick the countries, and then we'll go.
I gotta pick the countries?
You gotta pick the countries.
No, you just pick. Come on. We already got one. Good morning.
We want to apologize to our live viewers on Facebook at the moment. Now, if we're a bit faint, just deal with us for a second, and we'll be back up a little louder. So don't send us a 911. We're functioning now. This is reality radio, so we're functioning.
We are right. So okay, this may be a little bit better.
Okay.
Let me know if you can hear me a little bit better. Okay, so Brother John said China.
China.
So let's go.
Our brothers and sisters in the People's Republic of China.
Okay, go ahead.
We want to. Oh, you gonna go ahead?
No.
I think you said you knew it.
No.
We want to say ni hao.
Ni hao. Okay, I was close.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, how? Something like that. But I wasn't gonna say ni hao.
Jump across the Sea of Japan.
Okay, let's go
to Japan.
Okay.
And Ohio would actually be correct. See?
I said there we go. I mean, I'm gonna be like leading this soon.
That's what that's it.
All right, so we did China, Japan.
Go ahead. That's two.
Okay, so bonjour. Okay, that's 3.
Bonjour is where?
We're going to France.
No, okay, good.
Okay.
France and the French colonies.
Yes.
Guadeloupe and Martinique and Saint Croix.
And I want to do.
Oh. Qiana's taking her hand at Tulsa. So if you want to say una toile, can you say
una toile?
Una toile.
Una toile. Wait, hold on. I need 2. Una toile.
Una toile is actually
una toile.
It's a wedding song, and in the wedding song, it uses all of the Tulsa vowels. So you get the and there's a word in Zulu.
If y'all can see my face, it's fine.
It's called the Umkante, which means the crusher. So it's talking about
it sounds like I'm giving somebody something.
But
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias. Good for our Latin American and Spanish speaking countries. Our countries all over the Western Hemisphere and in Africa, Equatorial Guinea. Come on now.
Go ahead.
Let's hear your Portuguese.
No, go.
Fale português, por favor.
Go.
Bom dia.
Bom dia.
Bom dia.
Bom dia.
That's in our Portuguese-speaking nations.
And
let's go. Oh, what are your German? German is one of your favorite. What is it? Shout out to my sister who is now in Amsterdam. So she's saying this morning as she gets up.
Okay, so say it.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag. So Brother John say, what's up though?
and Guten Morgen.
Good morning.
Guten Morgen.
Good morning.
Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning to you.
Good eye.
Good eye.
What they do.
So we done went around the world. I love the around the world.
I know, I can tell you.
I really do like.
You like the Francophone nations. You like to say, bonjour. And then she opens her arms really wide.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, they can see my arms. They just can't see my face. Like, so the people, when I used to be on the camera, and I probably might hop back on the camera again, right? You say, please do. I talk with my hands.
You do.
I definitely talk with my hands. So people used to see it all, because I used to sit over there before I was over here.
To the dark side.
No, I love it over here. I love it. Okay, so first of all, good morning to everybody. It's What's on Your Mind Wednesday.
Good morning, hump day.
Hump day. We made it through the weekend and a holiday.
How
was your So listen, I'm a little jealous. You did smoked salmon, right?
I thought I was gonna do smoked salmon.
Okay.
I didn't end up doing smoked salmon.
But you did do something with deviled eggs.
I made smoked deviled eggs.
So let me tell y'all how this goes, right? Donnie doesn't know because he's new to. So I saw the text message. I'm at least in the text thread,
Yes,
right?
yes,
I mean, but he didn't offer nobody else no smoked devil eggs.
it was an experiment.
Except Jab.
No, I just mentioned. No.
Ah!
First things first.
Mhm.
King Jab is a master chef.
Okay.
So because he's a master chef, I figured I'd put it out to get the endorsement of a master chef. I also sent the same message to my brother-in-law. Shout out to Charles Blue.
We ain't in that group chat,
And
so it don't even matter.
And I sent it to my mother, and I sent it to other people, and I said, I'm going to try something.
How did it come out?
Oh my goodness.
Did you save any?
I don't know if any was saved. I would have to check the refrigerator to see if any was saved. But
That means ain't none of
they
that.
jumped on them. I have 2 teenage boys too.
I know.
Teenage boys don't leave you with a lot of saved food.
So that was smoked devil eggs with
Smoked
shrimp,
deviled
right?
eggs with shrimp. Yes. Come on.
Mm.
Dude, it was so amazingly good. And it was honestly my first attempt at deviled eggs. I've never made deviled eggs before.
Really?
Yeah. And
I like devil eggs. I kind of changed their name to angel eggs.
What would you have to add to a deviled egg to make it an angel egg?
Your angel spirit. Just the
Well,
goodness.
they're mine are definitely deviled eggs.
Crystal say, amazing.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad that they were a hit. But yes, I did, mostly seafood this time. I love cooking. I'm a grill guy. So
Okay, so I just kind of chilled because we had got a hotel the day before,
okay.
and we grilled out the day before,
Nice.
and then the kids just swam all day, so it was just like a nice relaxing. So Monday after radio, I really kind of wind down and then do. Well, I did work, but not too much work.
But that's a fantastic thing. If anybody else in our audience, particularly anybody in the chat, wants to share with us what they did on their Memorial Day holiday, then please do so. I think we had a really good discussion on Monday. I think the show was awesome in the way that we played it, businesses, in the way that we played it, entrepreneurship, and definitely in the way that we played it Memorial Day. So shout out to yourself and King Jab for that fantastic show on Monday. So we really, really did appreciate that.
We do what we do when we can.
Do you have any cookout, requests that you make on days that you know somebody's going to be cooking?
No, I really don't. No, I don't. Like, it's not like I gotta have this.
Mm-hmm. I get you. I definitely understand. I'm usually the smoked fish guy. So everybody in the family usually comes to me for some sort of smoked seafood. And smoked fish is my thing. Redfish on the half shell. They say, I got you. Got you. I can do something with redfish on the half shell. It's a way that you have to prepare it in order to make it really, really good. But you can even make bull red on the half shell. A lot of people don't know how to do that. So,
I don't.
I'm telling you.
And I'm a cook too.
I gotta school you then, too.
All right. I mean, I
learn you like my Uncle Robert.
I learn you.
I learn you something.
I learn you. I learn you a little something over here, little boy.
So, Qiana.
Yes.
In the news.
Okay.
A very interesting development.
Okay, go ahead.
That came out of the mouth of former President Donald J. Trump. It was released in a story by Rafael Benal of The Hill. It was placed on News Channel WFLA, and I want to share it very briefly what he said. He said that former President Trump is returning to his cause to remove birthright citizenship with his 2024 White House campaign, announcing Tuesday that he would seek to end it via executive order on his first day in office. Trump announced his plan on the 125th anniversary of the United States versus Wonkin Park, the Supreme Court case that established the constitutional right to birthright citizenship. Former President Trump said that on his first day in office, via executive order, that he would end birthright citizenship. A guarantee of the 14th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States established in 1868
Mm-hmm.
with the Reconstruction Congress, that on his first day, via executive order, he would decapitate birthright citizenship.
So, I think this is crazy, right? Because if you're born on U.S. soil, you automatically become a U.S. citizen.
Indeed.
Oh, wow. Okay. And, yeah, that's really like that.
There's a history attached to this.
Okay. What's the history?
The whole idea of birthright citizenship, coming from the Reconstruction Congress of 1868 and the adoption of the 14th Amendment, is that individuals born in the United States, like you said, could be citizens,
Mm-hmm.
but as a direct response to the Dred Scott case,
Mm-hmm.
in which a formerly enslaved person moved to a free territory and then refused to have the status of enslaved. It's the Dred Scott decision. The decision in which Roger Taney, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court,
Mm-hmm.
said that the African, mind you, he never called Dred Scott a Native American.
Okay.
He said the African was never intended to be a citizen of the United States. And in addition, he also said that no court case brought forth before a federal court by an African person would ever be or should ever be respected by a white person. He said that blacks have no rights that should be respected by whites, including the right to sue in court.
I'm just saying, nothing surprises me anymore, right?
When you remove the citizenship
Right. Then that takes.
of the birthright citizenship, when you remove that, you wonder then, supposedly. Now, I believe it's a political dog whistle, and I don't think that he would have the clout or the power to make such an executive order and make it stick. I do think, though, this appeals to a fascist base, and that base is absolutely invigorated by the idea that some people will be denied U.S. citizenship and other people will not,
Right.
just based on birthright. Now we know you can lose your citizenship by the violation of law if you're convicted of a felony. That's the 13th Amendment, right?
Okay.
Like you lose your citizenship. The reason why a person can go to prison, the reason why an individual can work without being compensated is the 13th Amendment.
Right.
Okay. Slavery nor involuntary servitude shall exist in the United States except as punishment for a crime by which the individual has been duly convicted by a jury of their peers.
Right.
Okay, so the moment you enter into the prison, you're no longer a citizen.
Until you exit out.
Until you exit out and you quote unquote pay the cost of restitution or whatever you have to do. Court costs sometimes in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? So a felony conviction will remove your citizenship to the United States. Then you become a U.S. property. You don't have the rights of a citizen anymore.
Which is so crazy, but yet they still take the taxes from them.
Come on now.
You still have to participate by their laws. Like, if you're going to take my citizenship, right? But then I still have to follow all the rules. Something doesn't seem right with that to me. You know what I mean? Like, hey, all right, yeah. Because, I mean, they say once you do your time, you should be free.
You should be.
Right? And then, yeah. And the fact that they're not. But we see it all the time with returning citizens, how hard it is for them to just do everyday things that we take for granted.
Right.
Like, just easy as applying for apartments or housing.
Come on.
They don't even have anywhere to live when they come home because the restriction of when they do the background check and ask you, have you been convicted, automatically takes you out of the rental pool in most places.
That's the truth.
Right? So where are you supposed to go?
In addition, some of the conditions of your release is having a place to stay.
Right. So
yeah.
I can't get a place to stay, and then depending on who you end up living with at that point, may and may not can have you in the house. I mean, there's so many restrictions that you have that I think, and I understand that there are some restrictions that you need to keep people safe, but we also need to protect the other people as well.
Oh yeah, and imagine a scenario where all of a sudden overnight, individuals are disenfranchised.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's an interesting thing when we speak about this, because here is a settler colony
Mm-hmm.
that's denying citizenship to land that it stole. Can you imagine that? I mean, this is the.
It ain't even yours. It ain't even yours.
It never has been yours. And then you're denying citizenship not only to land that you've stolen, but to people that you've stolen.
Right.
So you've stolen people, and you want to deny those individuals the right to equal protection under the law, which is really, Q, this the crux of the 14th Amendment, is equal protection under the law. Why did this have to happen? Well, why did the 14th Amendment come about? It came about through the Reconstruction Congress, not just to give citizenship to African men, but also to allow law enforcement to protect the lives of African people. You see, after the end of the Civil War, African people constituted the largest homogeneous ethnic group in America with a shared historical experience. That means that had that group had the political franchise, that group would have ended up running the United States. Now, some politicians understood this. Some politicians understood it better. The ones who fought against it, the ones who fought against it understood it better. The ones who fought for it understood it. And they understood that when you take away a person's citizenship rights, you take away a person's property rights. Now they can't control the land because they're not citizens of the land.
But you look at it, you can't control it. So, like, let's say you can't control the land. And then when we talk about this also, when things was invented.
Yes.
And things like that. And then you see that they have somebody else, Willie Parker, or, you know what I mean, Don Joe or John Doe or whoever on there, and really somebody else Donnie could have did it, but because you're not a citizen, you could not apply for a patent.
This is the truth.
Right, and then somebody else had to apply for it for you, and then if John Doe was nice enough to put your name on there somewhere, then he was treated like the outcast as well.
I mean, the same goes for higher education. If you remove citizenship rights for higher education, then you're talking about individuals now born in the United States, raised in the United States, have to apply for a student visa to attend a state college.
So is he even thinking about his wife, or even his children from his wife,
or him?
Yeah.
This is something this is why racism really does a really good job of destroying the people who identify themselves as being white. Because if birthright citizenship is revoked, then that means that the vast majority of the population of the United States now, who classifies themselves as white, also lose their birthright citizenship.
So do we get a do-over? So if everybody lose their citizenship, right?
Everybody lose their birthright?
Everybody lose their birthright. So do we do we have a do-over? And then it's like Family Feud, whoever hit the button first. That's how I see it. Everybody white clean, and then we all running. Boop! And now it's then can we flip the coin?
I tell you what, it's extremely tragic that more individuals who identify as white don't see this as an affront to their freedom, because it is the population of people who have immigrated to the United States during this across the colonial border, I say, because Mexicans, quote unquote Mexicans, can't immigrate to the United States because the United States never stopped being Mexico. Individuals, you can't steal a land and then say somebody can't be on it. That's just an impossibility. So that border that we have at the Rio Grande, that border is a colonial border. That's a line drawn, right? So they haven't immigrated to the United States. They can't be illegal immigrants because it's their land.
Right.
So individuals who have illegally immigrated to the United States, and individuals who left with David Crockett and Daniel Boone to cross the Cumberland Gap and to come into what they call the western part of the United States, those individuals will lose their birthright citizenship. So we're talking about millions of white people losing their citizenship to the United States. I don't know, it's pretty interesting when you start thinking about it. I don't think African people, by and large, American Africans, quote unquote black people, have ever enjoyed citizenship for all it's supposed to have in the United States.
We're not reaping all the benefits.
We're definitely not. Whenever you're asking to defund the police, you haven't reaped the benefits. Whenever you're saying to free the Uhuru Three and all political prisoners, you haven't reaped the benefits of the United States. Whenever you can have an individual like Chairman Malaysia Taylor who could be locked up for his free speech, whenever you can have an individual like Imam Jamil Al-Amin who can be locked away for his free speech, or Mumia Abu Jamal who can be locked away for his free speech, or Dr. Matula Shakur, Tupac's father, who can be locked away for his free speech, then you haven't enjoyed the citizenship
you
of the
haven't.
United States.
If you got an 850 credit score and you still got to put a different address on there to make sure that you get the loan, you have not reaped the benefits of the United States.
So this is something that the president opened up. When you open up Pandora's box, we have to be careful because intellectuals will look at this and then we'll wonder, President Trump, you're German. You're German, President Trump.
How do we say good morning in German?
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
Guten
How do
Tag.
we say bye? How do we say bye?
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. You know how to say boy bye?
Boy, bye. It would be the same thing. And it'll be Auf Wiedersehen.
Boy, Auf Wiedersehen. Boy, bye.
Yeah, so it makes you wonder when individuals start asking, who's got to leave then if that's the case. Maybe you got to leave first. Maybe
Right.
you have to leave first.
Hey, you follow the leader. Follow the leader. No, okay, so you know what I do have, and we haven't did this in a long time.
What's that?
I really have two would you rather, right? But I'm only gonna do one, and then I'll save the other one for later, unless somebody else wants to hear it.
Okay.
All right. So this is a good one, I think.
Okay.
Would you rather give up AC and heat for the rest of your life, or give up internet for the rest of your life?
Ooh.
What you giving up?
If I have to give up anything, like either the internet or AC and heat, I don't know. This might be a stacked question with me, Q, because I really like to read. So I think I can give up the internet, and if I still have libraries, I'll be all right. So I'll probably say give up the internet rather than AC and heat.
I'm gonna say I'm rocking with the AC and heat. I'm not giving up the AC and heat. No, I'm with you.
Okay, yes.
No, you can have the internet. I done lived the world without the internet.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
I done lived the world without the internet. I can do it again.
Shout out to Dr. Ray Arsenault, who actually made his career. He cut his teeth in Florida writing a history of air conditioning. So yes, definitely. Florida is very miserable to live in without air.
No, I used to get deathly sick. Like when our AC went out, it used to be so hot. Like I could, no. Oh, your wife said, well, okay. Crystal said you can still have fans. What about for the heat? What you gonna do for the heat?
Oh, I can rock and roll for heat. Like heat.
And when it's cold,
heat I can handle. I think we can handle heat. I think we can bundle up well enough to handle heat. Not having heat.
So what? We all gonna have the ovens open in the house, like, and you got to put the bed right in front of the
For
oven.
those who did not grow up in an urban area, the oven is a secondary central heating source in the ghetto. In the ghetto when it gets cold. So please understand. Erica Badu in Penitentiary Philosophy, Mama's Gun, when she's talking to herself, she says, I gotta remember to turn on the oven and heat up the house. Yes,
No, I'm
this is
gonna
what
say.
we do. This is how we do.
Oh, Crystal say layer up. So it sounds like Crystal is gonna keep the internet. Y'all not gonna have no air or heat in your house. That's what it sounds like over here. Over there, it sounds like y'all are gonna be.
But that's because she's from the country. Crystal dang from a third world country, so being from the developing world, she's cool with not having no heat and air. She just don't want to have. She want to be able to eat her frog legs with the internet going.
Crystal say catch that cross breeze and you're good. No, sometimes it ain't no cross breeze. We live in Florida. I'm just saying. So yeah, so would you rather give up your AC and heat for life or internet? Internet, bye-bye for me.
Let's hear from the chat. What do you got to say in the chat? I'll call in. Let us know. Would you rather give up AC or heat, or would you rather?
Mama Blue says some of us don't have air conditions now. Where at? Not here in Florida. Like where? Mama Blue, where? Tell me where. And Crystal say, wow, frog legs?
Let's not do this. Let's not let's not do this.
John Muhammad, Brother John said internet.
Yeah, because Brother John know how I feel to be hot. I'm telling you.
Listen, no, I'm not doing it.
I got you.
I went to Arizona for a month and I thought Florida.
Arizona can be warm.
I thought warm.
Arizona can be warm.
Warm. Did you just say warm? No. Listen, if hell is just an inkling, just a little bit hotter, listen, Arizona made me want to come back on the straight and narrow because I don't want to go to hell. If it feels anything like Arizona, I don't want nothing to do with it.
Whenever the name of your state is hot and dry, literally Arizona means hot and dry.
So Sharonda said, I need internet, so where you moving to? People have seasons, so you move from here. At least we don't really get really cold, so we can battle out the winter here. Sharonda, you move, you're gonna have snow,
which is not fun.
No, it's not.
It looks really fun if you grew up in Florida, but snow is not fun, especially when it blows sideways and it starts, cutting. No.
And Brother John say the only AC for years was in my mama's room. Somebody, you used to have the wall units. I remember the good old wall units. Oh, San Francisco get cold, my dear.
John, that might have been the most St. Pete hood thing I've ever heard about. Listen, bro, we understand. Anybody who grew up in the Charles Park neighborhood understand precisely what Brother John just said. When he said the only AC was in his mama room, John used to come asking questions that you have. So, Mama, what's the rainbow mean? Like you just come in busting in just so you can
get somebody to make up any kind of story. There was yeah.
Yes, sir. Now that's throwback there, brother. That one got me. That one got me.
Yeah, hold a bucket of ice in front of the wall unit.
Bucket of ice?
In front of the one unit. In front of the unit? Yeah.
That's new. Okay. Listen, I'm not knocking it. Floridians will find a way to stay cool.
I mean, black people will find a way. Like, we're pretty creative. Yeah. We're very, very creative. Yes, now, we got 7 minutes before we go to the top. Can you tell us about the books?
Um, I can.
Okay, let's start.
I can. Um, the books that we have today, one is by an author named Reinhard Koselleck. These books are they're pretty academic, so they're not very easy reads, but they're excellent to reference. His book is called Futures Past on the Semantics of Historical Time. And what it is as we roll into the second hour and we go into Today in History and then the next, the whole story segment, it'll make more sense. But what is the role of the historian? And what is the social responsibility of the historian? Dr. Reinhard Koselleck explores that. The book again is called Futures Past on the Semantics of Historical Time. And he talks about the historical idea of Zeit, which means time journey. So the other book it's one of my favorites. If anybody's ever taken any of my courses or if anybody has ever studied with me, I introduced this book to Dr. Rebecca Johns at USF as well. And thank you, it was introduced to me by Dr. Adrian O'Connor from the History Department of USF. The book is called Logics of History, Social Theory, and Social Transformation. And what it does is it gives us the tools that we need to analyze the events of history, to understand what history is. History, guys, is much more than just remembering facts. History is poorly taught in school. Hence why people believe that history is remembering facts. History is an entire discipline that requires the interpretation of not just what we think happened. That's fairy tales, those are stories. But what was written, what was unwritten, and how to understand it in the larger scheme of things. So again, the first book, it's called Futures Past.
Lift it up.
Yeah. So you'll be able to see it everything I have is on Amazon, so you can always order it or you can get it out of the bookstore. It's by a man named Reinhard Koselleck, last name spelled Koselleck. Koselleck. Reinhard Koselleck. The other book is called Logics of History. It's by Dr. William H. Sewell Jr., because his father was also Bill Sewell, but this is Dr. William H. Sewell Jr. It's Logics of History, Social Theory, and Social Transformation. When we seek to understand the role of the individuals that make our history, we were speaking about the role of Chairman Omali Yeshitela, and understanding that people like Chairman Omali Yeshitela, people like Kwame Ture, people like Kwame Nkrumah, people like Malcolm X, people like Honorable Elijah Muhammad, these individuals, people like Martin Luther King, wrote. They left us ideas in book form.
So they stay alive forever.
They're always with us. You can jail the revolutionary, but you can't jail the revolution because the information is there. That was something that was taken from us with Fred Hampton. He wasn't old enough yet to have written, right? But when we have things like Inequitalism by Huey P. Newton, when we have things like Bobby Seale, and we have things like Jamil Al-Amin, we have to read these things, and in order to understand them through our times, we have to be able to interpret them.
Right.
So this is the major point of focusing on these two works, is that please read An Uneasy Equilibrium by Omali Yeshitela. Don't just listen for the speech so that he can make you feel good because he's a fantastic orator.
He is.
Read him though. People, read him.
He took his time and wrote this body of work.
The enemy of our consciousness will lock away people knowing that we won't read them.
Right. Say that one more time.
The enemy of our consciousness will put human beings behind bars, knowing that the population that has not come to understand that reading is our direct connection with their ideas won't read them.
Right, because they say if you want to hide something,
come on, put it in a book.
Put it in the book.
Right, and this is.
But we are avid readers.
We're avid readers, and we know how to read.
Yes.
Not just the mechanics of reading, but we know what to read for. See, when you read An Uneasy Equilibrium, when you read Black Marxism, when you read Black Jacobins, when you read the Black Middle, when you read Seven Myths of the Spanish Conquest, when you read Black Society in Spanish Florida, when you read these things, then you can independently become as wise as the person who taught them to you.
Right.
We must read. Yeah, we must read and know how to understand what we read.
Right. Understanding is the most important part.
That's how we honor the people who wrote it. That's how we honor. We might not be able to bust out Asada Shakur, but we can read Asada, the book.
Right.
We might not be able to bring back Tupac, but we can read the books that he read.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and then we can independently become ourselves the people who we want to model ourselves after. So this is why this is so important, and this is why these two books help me as a historian, help me as an educator, and definitely will help anybody who has the opportunity to read them. And if we struggle with them, let's call ourselves together. You can always reach out to me, and I don't mind explaining things to you. This is why we're such a community resource. If you read this and say, but I just don't get this whole idea of false consciousness, let's rap on it.
Let's talk about it. Tell us, show the books one more time. Tell them before we take our break.
The first book is Futures Past by Dr. Reinhard Koselleck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's Futures Past on the Semantics of Historical Time. The second book is Logics of History by Dr. William H. Sewell Jr., Social Theory and Social Transformations.
All right, so we got to take a quick break, right? When we take this break, stay tuned in, right? Please tag a friend. Thank you, everybody who already started tagging. Send stars. We love stars. If you've never gotten stars before, the first 200 are free. Send them to us. They are cent a piece. The more you buy, the cheaper they are. And we are always collecting donations. All right, we'll be right back at 7 minutes after the hour.
It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. Just brushing up on some of my favorite literary classics. Even if a page turner like this isn't up your alley, did you know our libraries offer so much more than classic books? There's also things like passes to local museums. You can download ebooks onto your Kindle device. And super cool things like a teen gaming program. Visit your local library and see all it has to offer.
Agape Souls Boutique. High-end boutique looks and quality with affordable pricing. Located at 6025 Martin Luther King Street South in St. Pete. Choose from our amazing selection of stylish, fashion-forward heels, wedges, boots, children's shoes, accessories, and much more. You can shop now and pay later, interest-free with Afterpay. Subscribe to our website and get huge savings on our latest products at agapesoulsboutique.com. For more information, call 727-379-1318. Come give your feet the royal treatment and check us out at Agape Souls Boutique today.
This is Robert Boyd at Deuce's Corner in South St. Petersburg, which has been a staple in this community for literally generations. So Charlene and Chandra thought no better place to bring back the Natural Food Festival.
The Deuces is sort of like the heart of the African American community. Correct. It has been the heart of the art, culture, economic center for many, many years.
Charlene Edwards and Chandra Allison started the Natural Food Festival back in 2019.
The whole idea was to introduce plant-based eating to Black and brown communities and really just tell people about the benefits.
Unfortunately, the pandemic put the festival on a long hiatus, but this Saturday it's back and with a new edition, the grand opening of the Deuce's Food Forest.
We are lacking of healthy options in our community. So the Deuce's Food Forest is set up to bring some of our urban produce to be able to sell and set up, so we'll have those options.
A project years in the making, Charlene and Chandra are now hoping to turn it over to the public.
Recruiting the community to help build it,
Right.
to help sustain it, and then tell us what they want to see there.
Right.
So
Right.
it's not
important.
just us pushing information. It's a two-way street where people tell us what they're interested in, and we make that available.
Right. At the end of the
them.
day, it is for the community.
And during the festival is the perfect time for families to try some of those healthier options.
Open up our palates with some mindful tasting so that you can taste something new, something different, and really kind of roll it around in your head.
Right, really think about it. Yeah.
Think about how that makes you feel.
In South St. Pete, Robert Boyd, ABC Action News.
District 7 is located along its north end on 5th Avenue North, all the way down to 54th Avenue South, from as far west as 58th Street to 16th Street South on the east. I'm Brother John Muhammad, your council member for District 7. We're standing in one of my favorite spots in the district, Clam Bayou Preserve. This nature preserve is a great destination for anyone looking to escape the buzz of city life. The park offers walking and biking trails and a launching spot for kayakers and paddleboarders. It's easy to stay active and outdoors around here. District 7 is also home to the Thomas Jet Jackson Rec Center, Genie Hall Pool, and the Child's Park Recreation Center, where you can spot one of our most recognizable landmarks in the district, the Dream Big, Be Big mural. If those destinations weren't enough, we also have the Skyway Trail and the Pinellas Trail, offering car-free mobility throughout the district and connecting to other parts of the city of St. Petersburg. If history and culture is what you seek, this district is also rich with options, from the Dr. Carter G. Woodson African American Museum, a stroll along the African American Heritage Trail, or a visit to the historic Manhattan Casino. Our local businesses shine in the district, local shops, and good.
Just joining us, we're speaking on the necessity for us to read and read with intention.
Yes.
And to understand that the ones who are great among us, and they're just the ones who are the most politically conscious at the time, but the ones who take the effort out to read and to write and to provide us with maps and strategic plans and marching orders. It is our responsibility, if we indeed love what they represent, to read their works. We cannot not read their works. And again, being local, we've been heavily influenced by the work of Chairman Omalisha Taylor and the African People's Socialist Party, NPW, the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement, even the NAACP. We've been the Nation of Islam, the Urban League, definitely the Urban League. Shout out to the former leader, Brother Mac Williams, who was an amazing former leader of the local Urban League. But we have been the recipients of so much intellectual grace left to us by the previous generations. We have the obligation to read. Let's read Grounding with My Brothers from Dr. Walter Rodney when he went to Jamaica. And here's a man from Qiana, educated in England, leaves England, gets his PhD at age 24, leaves, gets exiled, gets kicked out of Guyana for his political activity, goes to Jamaica, and sits with the population in Jamaica, giving them Jamaican history of Queen Nani and the Maroon struggles that were there, of African and indigenous people working together to fight against the colonial British regime, and raises their consciousness to a level that they start in 1968, what they call the Rodney riots. Is that people, they're so enlivened by the consciousness given by Dr. Walter Rodney in Jamaica that they spring to consciousness and fight off the oppression of the state. So we have the obligation to read these things, not just talk about them, not just listen to them, not just go to feel good, but to read them. So find an individual that's representative of the movements and get the 5th Congress of the African People's Socialist Party. Find it. You can get it from the Uhuru House. I believe they have it there. That's where I got my copy from.
Oh, so you got your copy from?
Yeah, and I'm not a member of the African People's Socialist Party.
Right.
But still read everything you can get your hands on.
I second that.
As a reader,
I second that. Even if you just read it. Just pick it up. Yeah. Back in the days we used to use the Cliff Notes.
Dated herself.
I don't. Do they still have Cliff Notes?
No.
They don't.
No. They actually have AI that will write your papers for you.
You're right, but Cliff Notes used to be our way to get the skim of everything that happened in the whole book.
You know when I stopped using Cliff Notes?
When?
10th grade.
Why?
9th grade actually. It was Mrs. Johnson's English class. Osega, because I looked at the Cliff Notes for A Tale of Two Cities. And they called the Roman Catholic Church the Church of England. And I put that in a paper. And I did so just being lazy. And she read me the right act. And she should have. Because if anyone knows, the Church of England formed as a resistance against the Roman Catholic Church. And I put that in the paper, and I said, from here on out, I'll never trust Cliff Notes again.
Okay.
And I did. It made me read.
It's no more Cliff Notes. But so I can't believe June is gonna be here tomorrow. So you know what? Friday will be first Friday, right?
It will be.
And so it's he say, she say.
It is he say, she say.
And I really haven't did that much promotion for it because it creeped up on me yesterday.
Well, let's tell the people about it now.
Yeah, so Friday, meet us at Urban Drinkery from 7 to 11.
7 to 11.
Yes. My guest speaker is going to be Sean Woods.
Okay.
He is one of the owners of Rose Bar in Tampa, a Black-owned restaurant over there. So, yeah, he's going to be my guest speaker.
Tomorrow also begins hurricane season. And the tax holiday for items that can be used during hurricane season. So this is not just for generators, it's not just for shutters, but it's also for things like toilet paper. There'll be a think it runs the entirety of the month,
Mhm.
but I'm not certain. But make sure that you check and get the information on the items that are tax-free, the items that carry the tax holiday during um, hurricane season. We should all prepare for this.
Mm. Oh, look.
Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, hey,
So,
hey.
you know, and then tonight is Wednesday.
Tonight is Wednesday
So
night.
you can't forget free comedy with David Davis
What about that?
at 31 grand. Now listen, Sharon, if you want, write the address, but I will tell you this. It's on 31st Street
Right.
and Central.
Way back.
31st
Way
Street
back.
and Central. If you get to 31st Street and Central and don't see 31 grand,
Yeah.
then just go back home.
Okay. Hey, y'all.
Hey!
What up, dude?
The boss is in town.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going
Habaragani.
Habaragani.
Yeah. Me out? Me. Look, me out. I messed it up. I'm still learning too. Which one is China?
Me how?
Me how?
Meow.
Ni hao. With N, ni hao. I said meow like a cat.
Yeah, you do. It kind of, I do
Don't
too.
do it.
Meow. Because that's how I feel like it should be said.
No, but that you can't do that in the people language though.
No, I did that. Ni hao. But no, like
It's for
somebody.
real. Look how he reacted. You can tell it's like you
said
don't do that.
Yeah, but when I so
Don't say meow.
Don't
not
say meow.
meow, but meow. But you can
Do
still.
meow mean something? Meow don't mean nothing.
I'm not sure what meow means.
Okay.
So you know
Okay.
So you want me to tell you what this just remind me of?
Don't
You-
say meow.
We're talking about Chinese.
Ni hao.
You said meow. That reminds me of the lady who got up there and did the sign language and didn't know none of it.
That's me. Up there. Ni hao.
Ni hao.
Ni hao.
You
Okay.
can say you can
That's-
put the like that. Ni hao.
Ni hao. I'm working on my good morning around the world.
I'm like, listen, y'all gonna be surprised one day. I'm gonna come in here and be like, I got it,
You have.
and then
Yeah.
then I'm gonna leave it, and then Nani gonna repeat after me.
Okay.
And
Let's
for
do it.
those who are just joining us, the voice that you're hearing, the other voice that's
Yeah.
not mine or Qiana's, is the voice of the honorable,
Don't start that.
Honorable.
Don't start that.
city council member,
Yeah.
your brother John,
Yeah.
John Muhammad.
Yes. Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
That's
Thank
who
y'all.
he
Thank
be.
y'all. I hear applause in my ear, just like studio applause.
I hope y'all
What's
caught it.
Sorry for interrupting.
No, it's what's on your mind Wednesday.
What's on your mind Wednesday?
No, and so we were just talking about some events Friday.
Yeah.
He say, she say.
The June is already here. I heard that part too.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've
Yeah.
already completed 6 months of the year.
Wow. Yeah, that's kind of scary.
And it just seemed like the year just started.
Yeah. Focus and follow through. That's kind of what my commitment is for these next 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
The next 6. Because it's just so much happening and so many distractions.
I need an assistant.
We gotta focus and follow through. I got one. And still,
You need another one.
I need a whole bunch more.
I need at least.
We're gonna put out a call. We're actually gonna do a D7 change makers meeting in June because we do need a lot of help. We need
Constituent basis, the individuals who live in District 7, please,
Yeah.
please. We have a councilman the Honorable John Muhammad, who is our man.
How about that?
So let's say that for the
Crazy,
people who
I'm the
don't
one they
know.
want to represent.
Well, no, it's really not that
No,
crazy.
that's a song.
I know, but it's really not that. So
Yeah.
can you tell us? This is just because it's what's on your mind.
Okay.
For the people who don't know, what area is D7?
So District 7, and it was actually a beautiful video that was playing. Thank you, King Jab. I saw you do it. So District 7 is 58th Street North to 16th Street. Well, 58th Street on the west, and then 16th Street on the east, and then you go from 5th Avenue North all the way to 54th Avenue. So it's a huge area.
So 54th Avenue South,
Yeah, 54th Avenue South.
all the way to
To
5th
5th Avenue North. Yeah.
to 5th Avenue North,
Yeah.
and then the street goes to.
58th Street to 16th Street.
Got it. So 58. So you're kind of
So by Bogey over there.
by Bogey,
Yeah.
boom, all the way to 16th
To
Street,
16th Street, yep.
boom, all the way down to 54.
Yep.
You cover a lot of land.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's been amazing. It's like a lot of fun. I'm getting to meet a lot of people. It's 19 different neighborhoods, and really just going out talking to the different people in the different business districts, because we have Skyway Marina District. We got Deuces Live, 16th Street.
Hey, we got a lot of stuff over there.
Yeah.
Woo, woo, woo.
So
now, kids,
And
are
this
you?
is the man. This is the man, y'all. Let's not lose. I'm sorry.
Go.
I didn't mean to
No,
cut you off.
you did.
But this is the man that we produced.
How about
This is
that?
the man who has the same shared interest, because he has the same shared history and the same shared focus for us as a neighborhood that we produce. This is not someone who comes from outside of the colony speaking on behalf
That's
of
true.
the colony. This
That's
is a person who comes as a representative of the people who are in the colony, have been in the colony, and understands and sits at the seat of power. So as a constituent base, we have to make sure, and I'm not being political now, to the detriment of any opposition.
Right.
I am being political because everything we say is political.
Pretty much.
Right.
Pretty much.
So I'm saying that we have the responsibility, if we want our needs met and if we want our voices heard, we have the responsibility to keep this individual in the position of power.
We got like-minded people in office. Let's keep
Let's
them there.
remember that.
So here we go, kids. I probably know this answer, right?
Okay.
But I'm hoping that I'm wrong. So kids say, do I have to live in Florida? Can I do virtual assistant? Now, kids, I do. Wait. You can. Now, kids, were you asking because I need an assistant, or you wanted to?
Or you want to just help out?
Or you wanted to help brother
You want to help out in
Joe
the community?
Because I mean,
Or both.
Or both.
Yeah.
But I
All
think
of the above. That's what
District
it is.
7 is what she was talking about. But I
Yeah,
was
you can do
hoping that,
virtual. Yeah. So that's what we've been up to. Is really, it's been overwhelming, quite frankly, the amount of support and the amount of people who saying, how can I help? What can I do? Is there anything I can do? And so we have some ways that multiple people can tap in. And so we're gonna be letting that go this month.
I think I see greatness in the making, right? Already.
Yeah.
And I know I said this before, but I came to some of the meetings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And being in the political field, we always see the same old. You got the regular smegalus, right?
Yeah.
I
call them the faithful few.
Right. But no.
Yeah.
You bring them out. You get your TI on like you be over there. Because I see different people I've never seen before come out, and that speaks volumes of who you are, because people believe in you.
Necesitamos practicar política.
Don't be trying to show up my
No, that's
speech.
right. It's necessary to be practical. What he said.
Participación
It don't
and
matter.
participation.
de la comunidad hispánica.
And you have to have.
What he said?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Don't have come in here with it and try to show up my little
No,
speech.
I know a little bit.
Es una comunidad diverso.
Yeah, you got to have a diverse community.
Y una comunidad diverso incluyen algunas personas de africanos, algunas personas de blancos, algunas personas de lauros, de los indios y los hispanos.
I got it, but I can't repeat it. But it's not because it's bad. It's just because, like, I understand, but I don't speak well.
Yeah, I don't like it, cause
Kiss.
I just did. No, don't bring Kiss. She say she's proud and excited. No, I just gave you all these flowers, and he come in with this look, nice look.
Kiss has Senor McBride too. So, you and Mr. McBride. We call him Senor.
No, I'm just joking.
But no, what he's saying is right.
Yeah, no, what he said.
El distrito 7 es el distrito para todas las comunidades.
It is.
I second that.
Yeah.
Y el distrito representar de John Muhammad.
Yeah.
What he said, and you better do it. Support him.
I love this. See, here's the thing, right? Smart is the new gangster. Right? And it's quite frankly, it's been, the gangster, but just having the intellectual gangster to help us expand our gangster with, just language across, good morning across the world, and being multilingual, and like this is a different kind of black man that we have here with us, and so I'm just honored to be in this space and share space with my brother, man.
Listen, this is what we have to do. So the message has to go out in every language because
Yeah.
we need everybody's support.
We really do.
And we have a very diverse district in District 7. And that's what I was saying, is that all people understand District 7 is your district. This belongs to you. So it's toda la comunidad. And we say hasta la victoria siempre. We say that to que dice de my blue.
Mama Blue, you on here?
She on here.
And she's tracking every word.
Yes,
I wanted let me tag Jenny Figueroa too. Yeah, Jenny with the J Squad.
They like,
back
yay!
in the SCIU days. Back in the SCIU days. So
and Kiss is like, what's your first priority? Like, Kiss is ready.
Community engagement.
Yeah.
Yeah, community engagement. And really constituent services, really learning how to help people in this office has been the priority.
And you see what you just did?
Yeah.
This is how I say greatness.
Yeah.
I come in here and say, I need an assistant. And you say, me too, and they just skip over me.
Okay. I got nothing to do with that, though.
That's what I'm saying. It's greatness in the making. You see that?
Let me shrink my shoulders and
No,
get small in this
it's all
chair
good.
right now. Do not be so big, right? But yeah,
No, I love
really,
it. I love
really
it. I love
constituent services, because it's a lot of people who I think misunderstand what the role is, and there is no handbook. So when I walked in, there was no, orientation. So you have to really figure a lot of this stuff out.
And then you came in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's kind
I'm
of
finishing a term, so I was appointed, and so the machine was already rolling.
But they did change it, so you don't have to. You have how many more?
So the election will start campaign. The election's next year, and then the term ends in 25. January of 2025 is when the term ends, and I'm complete.
Because we voted in to do this extra year, right?
Yes.
Right, because you would have had to run this year
yeah.
if we wouldn't have voted.
Ended in January of 24, but it actually ends in January 25. And so we can get time to do the work. I'm excited about it. A lot of the priorities, all of that stuff is about to, like, we in the process right now of updating the website. We're doing d7speaks.com, so you can go there. If you go there now, you're going to see it's kind of bare bones. It has a survey available so people can still take the survey, share their thoughts on issues and priorities, but we're about to revamp it to include, our mission, vision, and just the feedback that we've been hearing. So we take in, the surveys, compiling that data. We've taken the town hall data from, doing the 2 town halls, bringing that information into, some format. And so we have some policy recommendations. Man, it's been great. So that's the wildly important stuff. But then you got the whirlwind, like the day-to-day stuff. I don't know if y'all read. I heard you talking about readers, but there's the 4 disciplines of execution. And one of the things that it talks about is just like how you have these wildly important goals, but then you always competing with the whirlwind, which is basically your day-to-day stuff. Right. And there was a lot of day-to-day things that I won't say that I wasn't prepared for, but I just didn't know that I was responsible for them. And so that's been a learning curve, and it kind of took my timeline and extended it. And, people who know, they've been saying it the whole time, but me being me, when I was trying to bucket, and it was like, pace yourself, it's a lot. But I'm like, that's what we signed up for. We do a lot. We got, but it you came really out swinging like Rocky. Yeah, and we're gonna keep swinging. But it's now just really prioritizing, pacing yourself. Because again, we didn't have time to do a campaign and build a platform and all of those things. Like, I was sworn in, and like they took a 15-minute recess, and from there I was on the dais making my first vote. So, so it's unconventional the way that I got in and the way that we've been working, but God is with us to do it. I'm really excited about it, and we about to really turn up this summer. We're gonna have a lot of fun this summer. I can't wait. So kids say
والتسمية من جون من يحيى محمد.
Okay.
كل ما أنتم بالعادة مستقيم. En español, be creer y hacen bueno. Believe and do good. Yeah. And this has been the basis point, that you've been moving on. And this is why we didn't need necessarily a career politician in your
man.
seat. We needed a
Yeah.
brother who understood us in your seat. When I say us, I mean everyone
Yeah.
in District 7.
Yeah. That's the other part of it too, like going to different parts of the district that I'm not usually in, right? It's like, everybody is everybody, man. People are people, and we basically want the same things. Sometimes our ideas on how to get them are different. But again, one of the things Minister Farrakhan, he said that when you start talking about differences, he was using it in the context of religion. But I think it applies to more than that, where he gave the example of how two people could be saying different things based upon how they're raised. And so if you was raised to say that 4 and 3 is 7, and I was raised that 5 and 2 is 7, Brother Donnie was raised at 6 and 1 is 7. If we don't understand the fundamental principles of math, then we would argue about who's right and whose way is the way.
Even though all y'all was right.
And man, by God's grace, just being able to have that orientation and think with that, when I hear people saying things that others may perceive as a difference, I'm able to see the common denominator and the principle in it, and then we're able to move towards some agreement where other people might have thought that agreement was impossible. So it's been another one of those skill sets, man, that I'm just grateful to God for, and the way that you see things when you walk into spaces, and the complexities. Everything is not black and white, not like race wise, but there's nuances. And
so kids say, how many terms can you do?
So I could actually be elected twice because I'm completing a term, and then I'll be running next year for my first election, which will be 4 years, and then after that, if I win, when I win, then we'll be able to run again for another 4-year term. So it could be 10 years that I can actually be in this seat. If, if that's the direction that the people want me to be in. The way the world going right now, you never know. You never know what's next. What's
our
right around the corner.
might be snatched away from us.
Oh my God, our whole citizenship thing. Yeah. So it's exciting.
And you know what else? So June is tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if you've been following us, the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, this is our 5th year anniversary.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But we gotta do something special.
Yeah, we got something cooking, right?
We do. We got something. We got something in the pot.
I think it's still marinating. It ain't made it to the pot yet.
No.
It's still in the refrigerator. We done seasoned it up a little bit.
No. We done pulled it out the refrigerator.
Okay.
It's sitting on the counter.
Okay.
It's sitting on the counter.
Ready to go in the pot.
Yeah. But if we don't put it in the pot soon, we're gonna have to put it in the refrigerator.
Put it back in the refrigerator.
Put it back because we want it to stay good. So when we put it in the pot, everybody enjoy it.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we have plans for the people, because we're expanding the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club as a brand and our outreach and stuff. And just like we collect data from, we hear the people and the people needs. And we got some stuff.
I actually want to hear if we have a this day in history. Y'all know I'm like fascinated by that. This day in history and the whole story.
We do.
Okay, well, what's going on?
Brace yourself for this one, guys. It's very interesting that you were talking about political nuances.
Okay.
Because this story is one that's heavily nuanced. And it's another story that ties in with the 2 books that we mentioned earlier, Futures Past by Reinhard Koselleck and The Logics of History. Because this story requires us to be able to independently read history, to understand things. People always say that history is written by the winners. Not necessarily.
Okay.
History is just written by the individuals who have access to the press.
Okay.
So if you got the mic, if you got the pen, then you make the history, whether you won or lost. So history is written in the best interest of those who are in power, but not necessarily by the winners.
Okay.
So today in history, 1921.
All right.
We have an event that is often called the Tulsa Massacre, or the Tulsa race riots.
That's what I always been hearing. Yeah, the Tulsa race riots.
And this is the 102nd.
This is the 1921. So this is the 102nd anniversary, and it happened on Memorial Day.
Really?
Of 1921.
Oh man. Yeah, I didn't know that.
But it's based in an event that happened a year earlier.
Okay.
So in 1920, there was an event that happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma. An individual named Roy Belton. Roy Belton was lynched. He was lynched for the attempted carjacking and robbery of a citizen in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
A carjacking in 1920?
1921. They were jacking people for Model T.
Model T. Wow. Wow. So I can't imagine that.
They were still putting their feet out and moving like.
We need to say alleged
Alleged
carjacking?
Well, it definitely didn't go to trial.
Okay.
So he wasn't convicted because he was removed from the jail and he was lynched.
Okay.
Now, Roy Belton was a white man.
Okay.
And he was removed from the jail
And lynched.
and he was lynched. Well, the black press at the time in Tulsa said if this can happen to a white man, then it most definitely can happen to a black man.
Right.
So they began arming themselves.
Okay.
So for a year, the black community in Tulsa, Greenwood, Arch, and Pine, shout out to the Gap Band.
Yep.
Charlie Wilson, Uncle Charlie.
Yep. That's what
They began
Gap is.
arming themselves. And they said that we will not allow anyone arrested to be taken from the jail and lynched. Just not gonna happen. Well, fast forward to Memorial Day of 1921, and you have a shoe shiner. He called himself Diamond Dick. That was his name. Diamond Dick Rowland, right? He went by the name of Diamond Dick.
Yeah.
And at the time, Tulsa observed Jim Crow laws. So they had separated bathrooms.
Okay.
So there was no restroom facility where his shoe shine stand was. But there was an agreement with a building across the street that Africans, black people, so-called colored folks, were able to use the restroom on the third floor. So Diamond Dick Rowland rushes to the bathroom. When he rushes to the restroom, he trips getting on the elevator.
Okay.
At that time, they had elevator attendants.
Right.
One elevator attendant was Diamond Dick Rowland was 19, was a 17-year-old white woman.
Uh-oh.
When he tripped, Dick Rowland reached his hand out and grabbed the arm of the white woman who was working in the elevator.
Right.
This is the story that's not told. Let's tell the whole story.
That's right. That's what it says.
The whole story is when Dick Rowland did that, it shocked the woman that he grabbed, and she yelled, but not because she said Rowland had attacked her. She yelled because he was falling.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
A bystander reported that Dick Rowland had attacked this woman.
Oh man.
And that bystander's report is what got spun. I want you all to hear this and hear this well. The woman, Sarah, who Dick Rowland grabbed as he was falling, never reported being attacked. In fact, when the police came to arrest Dick Rowland, which they did, they asked her to press charges and she said no.
Right.
I was not attacked by Mr. Rowland. The story that you're hearing is a false story. It's a white woman saying this. The police marched Rowland to jail. When they marched Rowland to jail, the black citizens say, nope. We saw what happened a year ago to Roy Belton, the white man.
Yeah.
So
we
know
will not allow him to be lynched. We will make sure that he doesn't be. And he's not threatened. They lead an armed procession to the jail.
Okay.
Because they're all well armed. A shootout ensues. But it wasn't a massacre.
Okay.
It was a war.
Wow.
You see, when you change the wording of the Tulsa race riots,
Right.
it just looks like random pandemonium in the streets.
Mhm.
Or if you say the Tulsa massacre, it just looks like black people getting shot down and murdered.
That's true.
But when you encapsulate it as what it was,
Yeah.
this was a war.
Right. They were defending.
They were
each other.
defending each other
Yeah.
and the place that they lived.
Right.
When you say massacre, what do you imagine? You imagine, and then they say, well, okay, well,
A massacre sounds like somebody just came in and slaughtered.
slaughtered everybody, right?
Yeah.
And what did the black men do? They sat there helpless, right, and just was killed.
Yeah.
Do you know the reason why the homes in the black area were able to be burned? It's because the men left, a strategic blunder, but they left their homes, all of them in mass, because they knew they had to have the firepower in order to fight these individuals off of this young
Yeah.
man.
To keep him, so that he can actually have a fair trial.
Have a fair trial.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
the
man.
defense of one. See, when people say we are our own worst enemy, or black people rush to pull each other down, what we don't understand is to defend the life of one man. Black people fought an entire war. This is Helen of Troy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
To defend the life of one 19-year-old.
Mhm.
These people took up arms and fought. Now, oftentimes when you talk of a massacre, it's one way, right?
Yeah.
It's a group of people killing off one group of people, right?
Yeah.
What they don't tell you when they do the figures is that in this, you had 800 plus people who were injured.
Mhm.
You had firebombing from airplanes done in Greenwood Arch and Pine on the black neighborhood. You had between 150 and 200 black people killed.
Okay.
You had between 150 estimated and 300 white people killed.
Wow. You don't really hear that side.
You don't hear that side of the story.
That's
but
the whole
this,
story. Yeah.
But this is the whole, John,
Yeah.
this is the whole story. This is the whole story. Dick Rowland,
Mhm.
the teenager who was accused,
Yeah.
died in 1970.
Okay.
They protected him.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
won.
Yeah.
Mm.
So he lived.
He
lived. He
lived.
lived. Yeah.
That's what they don't tell you. And in 1967, do you know who came and visited him? The woman Sarah
Oh wow.
in Kansas City.
Wow.
They remained friends.
After that.
After this,
Yeah.
this is the rest
Yeah.
of the story. This is what they don't tell you,
Mhm.
is that if they went to war to defend one 19-year-old from being lynched, he wasn't lynched. They won.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. That's right. So it was a victory.
It was a victory in Tulsa.
Yeah.
It was a costly victory.
It was a costly victory, but it was a victory.
It was a
nonetheless.
victory nonetheless.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to tell our own story.
Yeah.
Because if we don't and we allow HBO to tell it, Showtime to tell it, then they'll show us just getting murdered, massacred,
Yeah.
thrown in graves.
And I think that's on purpose as well, because once you start showing black people the history of resistance, and when you start showing that it wasn't just, oh, we're going to let you come in and do whatever, and you start showing the fight back, and inspires fighting back.
Mm-hmm.
But once you start to show, like, okay, every time we try to do something we lose, then you get this defeatist mindset. And
Right, because if you know
Yeah.
that you really won, then everybody will then take the stand and know that it's possible.
Right.
But when you tell them that no, this was a massacre, you paint the picture as if you try this,
Yeah.
this is what's gonna
That's
happen
what
to
I
you.
said. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is so try it if you want to. Get out of line if you want to, and this is what happened. But they say if they tell the true story, then they have to change their actions so that we don't take action.
Right. That's right. That's right.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate the whole story.
That's
The whole story. Our resident historian,
Mm-hmm.
our brother Donnie. I appreciate that, man. That's what time it is. And so I want to say this while we got a second. I got this on the way in. Get Higher St. Pete, the Sunshine Community Works. It's a career fair. It's going to be at P-Tech on June 15th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And I'm saying this because I know there's been a lot of people who've been talking about jobs and needing work and all of that good stuff. And so at this career fair, they're doing same-day hiring, help with resume building, childcare is available on site. There's over 100 entry to management roles available. The industries include, it looks like service industries, so it's housekeeping, administrative, nursing support, security, food services, customer service, facilities maintenance, and it's being supported by the Foundation for a Healthy St. Petersburg. So y'all check them out. It's a career fair on June 15th from 2 to 6 at Pinellas Technical College. And then this weekend is also an event that I'm a part of. I'm actually on a panel this weekend with the Juneteenth Jam and brunch, and that information will be shared on the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club page as well, so you can get the info from there.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
We got a lot of stuff, and then they got the Juneteenth kickoff mixer at More Eventful.
Yes.
Tamika's doing,
and it's her business.
This is her big business launch, a kickoff. So, like, honestly, Tamika has supported so many
that's why I'm like so
in the
excited
community.
About this. Yeah.
Like, I remember when she say, "I'm finally doing it." Like, I'm so proud of her because she already do the services. So go ahead and get paid for your services. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think everybody should go out there.
Juneteenth kickoff.
Right. It's gonna be at More Eventful.
I think 17th is what if I remember correctly.
It's that Thursday. So it's the Thursday.
Okay, that Thursday before.
The Thursday, because I know it's not the 17th. It's the 15th.
The 15th.
It's the 15th because Juneteenth will fall. Yeah.
Is that Monday? Right?
That we celebrate the 17th that Saturday, usually here.
Okay.
That the 17th.
Here, yeah. Because there's a lot going on Juneteenth weekend.
It's always Father's Day weekend.
What y'all think about that? Just
I like doing the international lecture.
Okay.
On Juneteenth. So I'll be doing an international lecture and working in conjunction with my sister Denebra, who is the global diversity inclusion.
Oh man.
And so I'll be giving an academic lecture on Juneteenth.
Okay.
So on Juneteenth, not another day off. Not just another day.
Not just another day off.
Just another day off.
I'll be explaining our history and the history that we have with the freedom struggle.
Maybe you could preview a little bit of that for us. Get a little bit of that.
Right on.
Yeah, because Juneteenth is a significant day in history as well. And as the build up to this, what's on your mind? We talking what's on your mind Wednesday. May 20th, I was seeing that in Florida, like they were saying that's the Florida Emancipation Day. Like I guess that's when we found out here in Florida. You familiar with that? That history, that story.
I don't know.
The inhale, exhale, the move in the chair.
So
there's a whole story.
It's a whole story. So remember that because we can talk about it.
Yeah, but May 20th was a significant date in Florida for Black people.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay.
To a degree, yes.
We have been fighting here for about 200 years.
Oh yeah.
It's called a similar entity.
So I see Mama Blue say good luck to those that applied for the grant. Yes. Actually, so it was supposed to be over on the 31st, right?
Yeah.
But then I looked at it, actually ended on May 19th.
It did.
I guess because it filled up, but they will know by Monday.
Yeah, so the announcement is June 5th, where they'll let you know who are the 45, because the 45 is the first cohort. I think from the report that we received, there was 166 people who applied in the 9 days that it was open.
Outstanding.
And so, again, that whole don't be number 46, that part of it is so real, because it was 166 people who applied, or organizations. 45 will be chosen for this cohort. And as a part of this evaluation, they said that they will be letting those who apply know two things. So it'll be two things. You'll know by the 5th who the 45 are, but then the others will also be receiving information on what they need to do and where they are in the process. And so really, honoring that.
And this is a good thing, is because they're going to do it again, right?
Yes, another round.
It's another round. So here
and they're moving quick. So June 5th is the announcement, and then June 12th, I think, is when they're bringing them in. So it's like a quick,
But this would give people time who didn't have their stuff together for this one to get stuff together and have, because the information what you need is still out there. And so if you didn't get it this time, do not get discouraged, right? Just make sure that you have all your ducks in a row and your I's crossed and your T's, did I say that right? Got it. T's crossed, right?
I do that too.
Sometimes. So make sure you have it, so then when the next go round, you can be the first to submit.
Yeah. And that was the other one of the, so when we did, we actually had a committee of the whole meeting what is the committee? We had a committee meeting and we were talking about the update for the program. And one of the considerations is this first come, first serve model. Just making sure that as this process continues, again, this was the first, round, and so there'll be some evaluations about the whole process, really looking at the process, seeing if that's the best way to do it, because we had some concerns that there may be some possible inequities with that first come, first serve model. And this was something that I lifted up, was just, it's another one of those races to resources. And you know how when we race to resources, we're not all starting at the same starting block.
Right.
And so being able to make sure that this race to resources has considerations of equity, so that people who needed the most, but they just didn't have what they needed the most, get left behind. And so it's still some Rubik's cubing that needs to have happen, but we watching the process and really excited about getting this money on the street.
El 1 de junio es un día de ni consumpción o ni compra y ni trabaja en solidaridad de la comunidad hispánica. So on June 1st, the Hispanic community around the nation is doing a national boycott of no work, no buy, no work, no consumption.
Okay.
So that the community can see the result of not just a general strike for the rights of people who are considered immigrants in this nation, but also what would happen if immigrants remove their dollars from circulation. So that's happening tomorrow on Thursday, June 1st.
Okay.
That's the day of no work and the day of no consumption. So
we're taking off that. How we
community advocate.
What to do? And I'm like, I'm with all the stuff, right? Look, we ain't working tomorrow. What we doing?
I want to take off, but I got somebody that really depends on me.
That's how I go.
I got
see how it happens.
But no, what happened? I got clients that depend on me that I have to.
Yeah, you in a different type of work, but
okay. So here we got to do the Ask Qiana because we're like 10 minutes in. But well, go ahead, Ask Qiana.
No, that's good. I think I can't find it, so Brother Donnie, you got to ask Qiana. I put it in our chat, but it's on the. I got a different phone.
Okay, all right, here we go. Bang, bang, bang. All right. Ask Qiana. Dear Qiana, I know a family of immigrants who had a child born here in the United States. However, they live in constant fear of being deported and separated from their child. The uncertainty and anxiety they face are taking a toll on their well-being. How can I offer support and assistance to this family during such a challenging and uncertain time?
Well, one is I can say is start giving them the resources so that they can become citizens. You're always gonna be, scared if you're not living right. You ever drove without no license? And everybody I'm just saying.
Black man in America from child pornography. You ever driven without license?
But if you ever driven with no license, every car you see, you think is the police. You see the bright light. It don't matter. The somebody turn on their high beams, you like, oh, they got me. You know what I mean? You're pulling over. And so that's not a good place to be in. And the only way that you can cure that is getting your license.
Yeah.
Like, it's a freedom when you got your license. You like, they can stop me now. I'm good. Yeah. I'm legit. So, only thing you could do is with that as a friend is start helping them do the research so that they can become legal. And that they don't have to worry, because I've had friends whose parents have been ripped away from them. A friend of mine, they moved here from England, and their parents their father didn't do what they needed to do to make sure that they were good and he was good.
Like for citizenship,
right, and everything. And honestly, they've lived here longer in the United States than they ever lived in England.
Yeah.
And their father got ripped out from them, and then they were kind of like orphans trying to figure it out. And their brother got ripped out. The door got kicked in somewhere else, and he was just sleeping. They realized, oh, you ain't even supposed to be here.
Oh, wow.
And mind you, this is his only home that he really knows, because he was even younger than his sisters, and they deported him back to England and gave him a whole. So the only thing you can do for them is help them become legal citizens, so that they're not watching their backs. Because as long as they don't have that, they're always going to be scared, and there's nothing you can do to take that fear away from them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I would advise first individuals to understand that morality, as is commonly taught, often benefits the ruling class. I tell people all the time that some people don't deserve to be told.
Sound like this is a hot take.
Yeah, some people don't deserve to be told the truth.
Yeah.
And they say, well, no, you got to tell the truth always. Usually, good people are the ones who say that. But I tell them, what would have happened if Harriet Tubman would have decided to tell the truth to everybody who stopped her on the Underground Railroad? What would have happened?
Yeah, we actually freeing slaves right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we want
to
make sure our soul is right. So we want to make sure we tell you the truth. No. There's some times where deception is the best policy. And this is a case where deception is the best policy. If this individual, and you know, is making a positive contribution to society, which they do,
yes,
do everything you can to be a sanctuary for that individual. Because unless you have walked across a border by foot, having people with weapons behind you, pointing at you, telling you can't come back, which I have done, then you don't know the experience of so doing.
Right.
So be a sanctuary, even in your neighborhood, for a family that's trying to find sanctuary in the United States. Do everything you can to be of assistance to them if they're making a positive contribution to society, and then have them look for other resources, like you said, like LASA.
Okay.
Or other.
And they have visas like work visas, school visas. You know what I mean? There's definitely
the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that
Hispanic Outreach Center, I know, like up in Pinellas County, we worked with them during the early days of the Trump administration, like 2016, 2017, and they were a great resource for a lot of the families that we work with in Pinellas County.
And a lot of people at the border, people don't understand this, are Haitian or African. And this is at the Mexican border.
Yeah.
There are people from Kenya and Uganda at the Mexican border right now.
Right.
So as they come in, remember at one time that you were a fugitive in the land.
Ooh.
So don't neglect what the Quran says, your neighborly needs.
Yes. Yes.
Remember at one time that was you.
Yeah.
And don't rejoice in the shedding of their blood, or your blood
No,
will be
don't
given back
do
to you
that.
to
I
drink
mean,
like water.
if you're that friend, you're not a good friend or a good neighbor if you're rejoicing in their pain.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
I think that's what it is. Just hearing the context of it, it's like seeing them going through this and struggling. Like that was I experienced that as well, and it was one of those cultural things where you organize and we operate in a bubble. But then in 2016, when I met Jenny Figueroa and we hooked up, and she just started sharing with me the immigration struggle, because immigration wasn't one of the issues that I had worked on as a president of Child's Park. We can talk about immigration over here. Right. But then when we met and really starting to meet people who, have immigrated and are here, just hearing the stories of how they got here, what caused them to leave, and it was like, wow, it's just mind blowing. Some of the, like what Brother Johnny was saying, just some of the things that they endured to get here and be here, and then to have that constant threat of being deported. And
it's a feeling that you can't take away from them, unfortunately. And then
it was like a trailer park. As a matter of fact, it was a trailer park that we were organizing. When she was organizing, Jenny was organizing in that trailer park, because the trailer park ownership knew that there was a large immigrant population, and so they were taking advantage of their status.
Oh, wow.
And so they were like charging them more.
They do
unjustly
they really do.
them.
Oh, they really do.
And they had no recourse, because if you call the police, the chances of you
going to jail
are really high.
And they don't treat them nice, because, as a matter of fact, my friend who got deported out, like I was telling you, with the house and all that stuff, he never been on another plane since they deported him.
Wow.
And we think it's because he was supposed to fly back over here, go to Jamaica. He has not stepped on a plane since he left the United States.
And that was a fear too. Like what was in the letter was the children, but But that may be changing if Trump is elected. But the children were born here, so they are citizens. And this is all they know. But the parents are somewhere else, and so if you take and deport the parents, the children are citizens of the United States, and so it's like this whole weird dynamic. And so
Marcus Garvey said that if the people won't unite, conditions will unite them. So if these conditions get hot enough, you'll start seeing a solidarity that you haven't seen in the last 500 years between indigenous people who are the Latino community is a community mainly of indigenous people. We have to stop being Yaqub. We have to stop being Jacob and taking the birthright of indigenous people as American Africans. Not talking about American Africans who are genuinely and who are truly and by blood indigenous people. I'm talking about the American African community who runs away from being African, and by running away, they say, "Oh, we were always here. We're just the indigenous people of America." You're not. You're not. Right. You are the same victim, the son and daughter of the diaspora that we all are. And it's a really funky history. We don't have the time now to go into.
I know, because we got 2 minutes.
So
while you doing it, say your closing speech, your final thoughts.
We'll do. But a lot of us are part indigenous Americans because indigenous American communities had African slaves up to 1903.
Oh, wow.
See, that's the part they don't want to tell you.
Yeah, the whole story.
This is the whole story. We'll get on that another. That's another day. Another story for another day. Okay.
Yeah.
In final thoughts, always expand your gangster. Expand your gangster. Expand the story that you tell of yourself. Understand who you are. Tell your story because no one can tell it like you can. Expand your gangster.
I love that. So I just want to shout out Kiss. I want to give a shout out to King Jab behind the scenes. UB, appreciate you. My wife watching. Crystal, thank you for tuning in. Ada McFarley, Aaron McFarley, Mr. Edmond, and everybody who's been rocking with us and supporting the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. Again, y'all can send some stars and show your love, show your support, and book with us because, if you want your flyers to be read and your promo to be, promoted, like send a little something on the back end.
Right.
We accept it all.
We accept it all, and so we're going to be rolling that out as a part of this 5-year anniversary thing and ways that you can continue to support. Again, that's been the overwhelming thing. So many people saying, how can I help? What can I do? And so we're looking to answer that question and give you multiple ways that you can engage, and so there's more that needs to be done and needs to be said, and I want to thank y'all for tuning in.
All right, I don't have no time. This is Qiana.
This is your brother John, is the intellectual gangster, brother.
And this has been the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. There you go. And be the change you want to be.
Believe it, do good. Good morning, everybody.
King Jab got us behind the scenes.
He did. He put a U in my name.
I seen it. He spelled it the way that it's supposed to be spelled.
No, it's not.